I'm a better storyteller than I am a driver, but I'm gonna.
Oh, hard to turn. Yeah. These old bones aren't working like these.
We had a couple in here that just got married. They were each living in their own apartment. They just got married. He's 90 and she's 88.
Wow, congratulations.
The town is really tore up now because all the towns around here, all the smaller towns, they did a lot of construction work. New streets, new water, new sewer, new da-da-da. And one of the reasons for it, of course, is that there's so much oil impact money. Like the street that we lived on, we sold our house, they put in everything new. New sidewalks, new curb and gutter, new paving, new water, new sewer, which of course was a multi-million-dollar project even on our street. But it's all, none of it will be assessed back to the property owners. It'll all be paid for with impact money.
So that's from the state?
That's from the state. It's from the money that they get from taxation from the oil.
We have our Lutefisk dinner coming up.
Oh, we have two. Ours is November 14th or something like that.
Ours is the week before that.
In those older elevators, I remember at the Great Northern there when Dad was managing it.
Yeah.
There was a rope pulled elevator that would go up into those grain bins.
They call them man lifts.
Man lift? Do they still have those?
I doubt it.
They doubt it. I used to hold on to Dad's leg and he'd pull me up.
That doesn't necessarily make you any happier.
Yeah.
You know, it just, I think Donna and I, when we got married, like I say, we were 18 years old, and she didn't work and she didn't have to. I worked for my dad and I made $200 a month, and we lived in her grandmother's house, which was at Perks. But I think we saved $100 a month and drove a new one.
Yeah. But Dad furnished the eggs and the cream and the pork and beef.
Yeah.
In the Army, I left that '53 Chevrolet when I got drafted. I left that Chevrolet with Raymond.
Did you go overseas?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Japan.
You were in Japan in what years?
54.
54.
53 and 54. I was lucky. I was 5,000 of some troop ship heading for the Far East. 4,500 of them went to Korea, and I was in the 500 that stayed in Japan. Went to Northern Ireland, went to Hokkaido. Spent time up there. First Cav Division got wiped out in Korea, and they sent them back to Dakota to rebuild, and we were replacement for the First Cav Division.
You weren't in the first Cav.
Yeah.
You were first Cav?
The first Cav, but not when they got wiped out.
Yeah.
You got you locked in? I don't want you to go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Eleanor, Coop.
Very glad you come.
swimming pool over there?
Hmm?
Is that a swimming pool over there? No.
Church.
Go all the way through and look around. This is the Capriva house here. And the house I lived in here is gone.
What? I didn't get it.
But the green building is gone.
A little tornado up ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Can you do me a favor?
What's the favor?
What are you recording?
I'm making a little movie.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was a boy here.
The dirt bag?
It's Alice and Alvin Hass's house. Tiny little place. Around the corner, see?
Yeah, I thought it was the other guy.
That's Grandma's living room. Grandma's house.
We got bags of grain laying all over in fields.
Uh-huh.
And we've never had the trouble before, and now this year we got raccoons trying to tear them open.
Oh.
So we've been shooting raccoons.
So those tires there are as big as bigger than a man.
Yeah.
So what do we have here?
This is the combine. This is. Go up and look in the cab of this one.
Okay. This is a computer screen here.
Yeah. When the screen clears now, then you can start it. There we go. This thing here will tell you anything and everything.
Check the service page.
Yeah.
The last time we were here, I commented on the sunrise.
No.
And you said something about, yeah, it's beautiful if you could see it.
Yeah.
A sprayer?
Yeah. Let me open the door. We'll get some light in.
Oh my God. So this delivers the fertilizer.
No.
No?
This is just for putting, crop spraying. Doing the weeds.
This is insecticide? Insecticide?
Yeah.
And that's its one job?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It looks like it's from outer space.
Keep that going there. It's nothing to go over 1,000 acres a day with that.
Wow. So there's the cab. What's this here in the, it looks like a nose.
Oh, here?
Yeah. Oh, headlights.
Yeah, it's just all lights and stuff here.
So this runs at night too?
No, not tonight. When you get boom sticking out 120 feet, you got to keep your eyes open to watching what.
100, so you got 60 on each side?
Yeah.
Days a year do you use this guy?
Oh, quite a few.
Do you? Yeah. So he earns
We'll be going. You'll go over every acre about 3 times.
3 times. So he earns his money then. This one.
Oh yeah.
40 years ago when you were a young guy.
Oh, we started out there. We had them little sprayers you put in the pickup box and sprayed with them.
In a pickup.
Yeah. You had to work like hell to get 200 acres a day done. Now you take this out. This will spray 240 acres before you stop.
You're a good narrator. You always have been. That'll seed and fertilize at the same time.
Yep. Dry fertilizer and hydrous.
And a quarter is that 160
60 acres.
acre?
Yeah.
There's a tractor.
Yeah. That's an old one. That's about all we use it for. That's the bagger that you auger the grain in up on top there,
Uh-huh.
and then it puts it in them bags. I don't know if you've seen any. We got about a dozen of them laying around the field here. In bags, they hold 10,000 bushels apiece.
How many tires are there on this?
Well, I'll tell you, it'll take quite a check to buy them all. What the hell is it down there? Just the big ones, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 big ones.
20 big ones.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to count the little ones then. And this will do 160 acres in a day.
Oh, in just a few hours.
And
That folds down, if all folds out, it's 55 feet.
wow. How do you, not just you, but how does a farmer remember a life of farming? How do you, I'm kind of a history buff, so how do you tell the story of how do you tell the history of,
Oh, man.
how do you tell the history of your farm?
About all you can say about it is it's bigger, bigger, bigger. Keeps getting bigger, I don't know.
And your dad had it, your dad farmed here
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
how many years?
Oh, God, what did we move here, 1945? And he farmed out until he quit in 60-something. Must have been about 66, 67, he quit farming.
What did we have here? These
That's,
What are these
that's
stuff?
volunteer canola coming there.
This is the new stuff?
Yep. See, these are what canola plants are. See, like this one here, now see this, they get pods on them like this. And then that's the seeds in them.
Okay, and this is where you get the oil?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Down here by Minot at Velva, they got a crushing plant down there for these.
To crush those?
Yeah, and they crush them, make oil.
What do you farm here now? What are your crops?
Well, most of what we raise here is canola and spring wheat, durum, flax, stuff like that. We used to raise sunflowers, but when we quit them.
Those sunflowers are beautiful on the highway. This is pretty stunning right here. This
Yeah, a lot of this.
sunset on this.
No.
In the name of Jesus Christ, good morning. Good morning. This morning we're called to remember and pray for all that God has given us, all the good and wonderful, glorious creation God has put before us. May you grow and be strengthened this next hour, for God loves you and you are all welcomed here.
Formerly,
And you were my teacher?
4th grade.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Great. How long did you teach?
I taught 3 years altogether.
Uh-huh. I didn't drive you out of the classroom, did I?
No, you weren't the one to get it. No, I married a farmer. I became a farm wife, so I was
Okay.
just busy.
I remember that, Miss Cano. Yeah. How did you spell that?
Knoke.
Yeah. How it was that time pulling into the town we had left 60 years ago when I was 10 for Joan and Junior. Coop's the son of Lil and Dal, who I knew then in the time of my childhood. And when we sit at table, the first thing out of his heart is a story about my dad pulling him drowning from a swimming hole as a child. Mom used to love to sit with Coop, and Charlie too. The thing is, Grandpa Charlie had stories on Coop being older. Coop's dad, Del, who ran the Texaco station, was one of the North Dakota slow talkers. I could give that back to Coop as part of the unwritten story of my town. Coop knew all about the oil. He'd lived in Tioga all those years, and from him we learned how small towns benefited even if they didn't have their own wells. So we learned some things coming out of those oil fields. Karen put the camera out the window driving into town. We didn't know it was the hardware store they were tearing down. Marlon Jacobson told me the hardware story when I went to the Methodist church. Earlier, Karen and I woke up in the RV man camp in Williston, and I called my cousin Joni on the farm. Go see Coop, she said, and we did. That's how we got started. That first morning we woke in Williston, saw Coop and Elner. They took us to Lil's Cafe, but her name's not really Lil, Coop says. Then we drove into Bobel's. All the store is gone. We drove through town, went right to the park, pulled the mothership into one of 2 camping sites, and I didn't have the right size plug-in, which hid the fact there wasn't any electricity running through my body. My batteries had shut down. Me. I pulled out a lawn chair and just sat. Karen said later it was sad looking at me. I had come back and I was here, and now the only thing I knew is what for. Nothing. No why. I couldn't leave us there like that, and that was all I had, nothing. I called Joan, and she said, come right out, I'll put in a roast. Come right now. Go back out 8, that's Highway 8, towards Coto, past Coto. On the First County Road, turn to the right and go 5 miles. You'll see that missile sign with L8 written on it in the ditch. Turn left and come right up that long driveway. And that's what we did. We talked some, then Karen went out in the kitchen with Joan, and Junior, her husband, took me outside with the machinery. There was a tractor so big I didn't know what it was. Ran on tracks, not wheels. That's a tractor? And a sprayer that unfolded to 60 feet on both sides. 120 feet, like animals in a 3D movie. Junior's a couple of years older than me, meaning he's in his 70s. He's got this great gravelly voice, and this smile comes out looking at me, I would think, with a certain amount of disbelief. That's a tractor, I asked. That's a tractor? He's a good narrator. You can see that listening to this video. This journey now, this boy in an old man's face, meaning me, he's been saved right here. He's eaten more than pie and ice cream when he sits down to dinner. He's complete in a way he hasn't been complete. We drove back to Bobel's with that sky full of stars and slept under the water tower. The next day we drove to Kenmare and got that adapter to plug into the mothership. Sunday I went twice to church, both times on Main Street. First with the Methodists, then with the Lutherans. I shook hands with this one woman coming out from church and gave her my name, and she said, I was your 4th grade teacher.
Yeah.
How perfect.
Her name isn't really Lil, her name's Debbie.